Hi everyone. This is the next day, right after the grades came out, the results came out, and I believe that I think it's a good thing to speak about it. So in this summer, this entire summer, I am going to make sure not only I'm going to teach. Obviously, I teach, so obviously you can see the domain here. But not only I'm going to make my vow to actually teach throughout the summer, but also going to make sure I'm going to give tips on how to study. And I have good grades, and I believe I am the best person to speak about it when it comes to how to transition from from someone who used to get minimum average grades to someone on the dean's list. And it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy, and given the fact that I come from the hardest majors, physics, maths, and statistics. It is not meant to be an easy course. It is not meant to be an easy major, but I know for a fact how difficult the professors are when it comes to teaching you guys. I know how difficult it is to get in touch with the professors and stuff. And so, what I made a vow is that I am going to teach you guys what it takes to learn, but not only just learn as a student, just learn and memorize the equations and stuff, but actually understand where you need to implement these equations. And I'm also going to use my strategies that help me get the average that you want to get or the average that I have, because I've seen stuffs where I have used the strategies that I implemented last year or the year prior that gave me shit average. I got a 55 average, I got a 56 average, I got a 55.5 average. I had a 1.3 CGPA. Like, is bollocks. I had a 1.5355 CGPA. So last year I had a 1.55 CGPA. I came from somewhere where I understand what it's like to have 1.55 CGPA, 1.56 CGPA. Because I was at academic warning. I was very close to being kicked out of my university. I never had good professors. I never had, the good timeline to how to study, how to strategize your, studies and whatever. And on top of that, physics is not meant to be an easy course. Physics is not an easy major, because people will bark that physics is very easy. Physics is very easy. I can teach physics. Anyone can teach physics. Not everyone can teach physics. I can. The only reason I can is because I have done it. And because I have done it, I know what to expect. I know what struggles every student goes through, because I was one of them. I have seen them firsthand. I've seen how most of the professors will teach you based on what they know, but not based on what the students understand. I have been there. I know what it's like. And it's for someone to actually understand what it's like to, be struggling while you learn what the professor's explaining, because you can't just enter a university, or you can't just enter a class and then sit there the entire 50 minutes. You must understand you're paying your fees. And I'll make sure that I do not make this mistake where I will be um you know giving you guys another time waste into, or you paid your fees, you paid 20K, 30K a year, like 40K a year, and then you just go there and then sit down because you didn't understand anything. And when you ask a question, what happens is that, oh my god, I didn't understand anything, I didn't understand shit. This will not be my plan. My plan will be like, I'm going to keep on teaching. I'm going to teach to a point where anyone can join, because you don't have to have this prerequisites, because I will be teaching prerequisites. You don't need first year for fourth year courses. You need third year courses. I am going to teach third year courses. I am going to teach fourth year courses. For third year courses, you need second year courses. I am going to teach second year courses. And you need maths. I am going to teach maths. For second year courses, you need first year courses. I have the first year courses. I have the knowledge for first year courses, because I've been through every single stage that allowed me to experience what it's like to have a 1.55 CGPA with a 55.6% average, almost getting kicked out of my university, almost at the brink of being kicked out of my university, who still has an academic warning sitting down, because when you have when you failed once, the first time when I got my results, I got an academic warning. The first time when I did my finals, sorry, which was in 2023. In 2023, I got my first result. This is the first time I did my finals in a country like North America. I've never been in North America before. I was in Middle East before. I came here from Middle East. I did my finals in 2023, and I got an academic warning. I got a 44 average. I came here not as the best student, as the worst student. I had a 0.75 CGPA. So I understand what it's like. And then I was trying to push. I got a 1.55 CGPA. And two years, for the next 2 years, I sat down with the range maximum to 2.0 CGPA. 2.0. That was my maximum CGPA. I had a 2.0 CGPA. I had a 2.0, 1.73, 1.55, 1.55, 1.56, 2.0 again. So it was a bumpy road, right? It was a very bumpy road. I never, I, my plan was that whatever the equations existed, I'm going to memorize. Whatever the equations existed, I'm going to memorize. Also, many people make this mistake that if they look at the question, they're going to memorize one keyword and then they're going to be like, whoop, I got this keyword. I'm going to memorize that. No, it doesn't work like that, because during the finals, you're not going to get that. And I don't know if you have done physics as a major, but if you do physics as a major, even if you wait to see keywords after keywords after keywords after keywords, you are not going to see the same keyword. I don't know if it's for you guys, but for us, we get completely different questions. So hard. It's and you have to finish within 50 minutes. You must understand, a midterm is only 50 minutes of your time, and you have to come up with 200 to 250 equations or more than that within 50 minutes. So we are also going to explain how to answer questions quickly. We're also going to make sure that how do you understand what equations you use. We're also going to make sure I teach to a point where anyone who is not a physics major can understand physics. This is to physics students. This is to physics students. If you want to learn about physics, but make sure that you also have maths with you, I'm going to take you through thoroughly, in depth, from first year physics all the way to fourth year physics. Because I have seen what it's like to have low CGPA. I've seen what it's like to give up. I've seen what it's like to always ask, I wish I did not do physics. I wish. You always wanted to wish you did not do physics. Well, you don't have to now. Well, even if you don't do physics, it's fine because I'm teaching you guys. The courses are extremely cheap. The courses are extremely, extremely, extremely cheap. You can go through it. You can go through my CGPA if you want to. Um, y- the strategies I used, I am going to go through them thoroughly, because it'll be very different. The way I will teach is very, very, very different. I'm not going to go through the textbook. I am not going to go through and lecture the textbook like, oh, this is how you do it. This is this, this is that, because that's too boring. This is way too boring. You're not going to learn like that. We're going to use like one whole equation that covers every single thing. I'll try my best to teach properly. I'm going to make sure that you understand thoroughly. This is summer. Again, it's summer. And this summer, you must make sure, if you did not get into co ops, or if you did not get into internships, or if you did not get the role that you want, or the research that you want, or if you did not have the CGPA that you want, or the grade point average that you want to have, well, this can be the perfect point. This can be a perfect moment for you to actually be like, you know what? You can improve, you can work hard, because I understand your pain. I understand where I was standing back in 2024, back in 2023. I had a very bad CGP, very, very bad, like very bad. And 2024 is when I've seen the brink point. So I know what is like, how long you have to work to actually get to the point where you need to, where you will be considered somebody, right? Because grade point average means everything at the end of the day. Whether you hate someone, whether you love someone, whether you say shit about someone, at the end of the day, if your grade point average is bad, then you are bad, right? I'm going to teach you thoroughly. I'm going to make sure that even if you don't do physics, it's fine. I'm going to teach you the prerequisites. I'm going to teach you the core requisites. But on the core requisite introductions, I'm going to make sure that I mention the prerequisites needed for this lecture. I'm excited for the summer. I'm excited. Um, I'm also going to make sure that all the recordings are uploaded, like